Welcome to Riggle's Picks. I'm Rob Riggle.
I'm Darren Leader.
And we have got another great episode lined up for you today. I'm so excited about this one because he's a personal friend of mine, a colleague. I've been blessed to work with some of the best co-hosts in the business.
Thank you, Rob.
Well, and Darren. And so, I've worked with Sarah Tiana. I've worked with Joe Tessitore, who's going to be our guest today.
Dude, that's going to be exciting.
And I've worked with my man, Darren Leader. Come on.
Oh, dude.
Come on, brother.
You totally redeemed yourself. That was awesome. I'm excited for today.
It's going to be fun. Joe is a wealth of knowledge. He is just a cool dude. One of the best hangs I've ever had the pleasure to enjoy on and off camera. Like, the dude is so fun.
I can't wait to hear some stories about hanging out with super athletes.
Yeah, well, we're going to hear some because the man's been there, done that.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope he's keeping a journal of his experiences because it would make one of the best sports books ever.
He seems like the kind of guy that might.
Well, smart enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he can write.
And he's not lazy.
No. Certainly has energy.
Yeah. Gary's not with us today in person.
But
in spirit and in face.
Now we got Cardboard Gary.
We've got Cardboard Gary's.
Yep.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. That's a Mickey Mouse.
That's very.
Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hi, everybody.
That's a weird voice to choose that Walt chose.
Well, when I look at Gary's face, that's what I think.
I think this.
Well, that's kind of mopey Gary.
Isn't that kind of like always Gary?
That's Eeyore Gary.
Eeyore Gary. How about is this when you stumble upon your dad's collection of ladies' magazines? That's Discovery Gary.
That's Discovery Gary. That's everything's all right.
I got this.
That's McConaughey Gary. Was it all right.
That's cool Gary right there.
Yeah, that's so cool Gary. That's Gary on top of the world. That's Gary on top of the world.
That's Gary's got this.
That's Gary winning. That's winning Gary.
Winning Gary.
Winning Gary for sure.
This is Gary.
Yeah, that's just.
This is just.
That's tired Gary.
This is Gary's been working.
That's Gary's over it.
Gary's over it.
That's Gary's
That's
over
Gary's
it.
over it. That's so cute.
That sounds like an egg order. Give me. I'll have some Gary's over it.
Gary's over. What is that? It's just 2 plain eggs, some potatoes. It's cool. Gary, I love you.
I love Gary. We miss you, buddy. That's why we have the Cardboard Garys. Hey, Joe Tessitore is in the waiting room. Let's jump over and say hi to Gary. Or hi to Joe.
Hi, Gary. Hey, Joe.
You know what, Darren? I'm very excited about this.
You scared me.
Good.
You scared me with your joy. Why are you so excited?
Yo!
Hey! There he is! Joe Tessitore.
Hi,
Joe
Darren.
Tessitore.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Good.
I'll try to keep Darren, out of your face, Joe, as much as possible. There's no promises, though. He's
First things
aggressive.
first. Joe, your tan is amazing.
Well, he lives
Oh,
in
bro,
Florida.
I live in Naples, Florida, and I want to be, if they ever do something about Mary sequel,
You're
I'm
killing
all
it.
in on playing the older male that's in the apartment.
You're going to marry the old wrinkly lady.
Yeah,
That's so
my
awesome.
goal. That's my goal in life.
Joe is the most healthy guy I've ever met. His skin tone is perfect. Perfect. It's not just too much or too little. It's perfect.
Clearly, he exfoliates.
And he's so much more than a world-renowned sportscaster. He's also a foodie. As I think that's what they're called, foodies. You are. Let's be fair. He can tell you in great detail almost every ingredient in every dish.
So, do you like food that's? So, are you like a fit foodie? Because
Yes.
is that the
No.
deal?
Look at him. Look at him.
Here's what I do. So I do work out every day, but that's only to counter what I do the night before. So like last night, I'll be the first to admit, last night, absolutely crushed this massive short rib where the meat is still on the bone. You got the dipping sauces, you got the pickled onions, you got the pickles. And, the meat is just, it like wants to jump off the bone on its own.
Yeah.
Crushed.
But
it's the way he describes food, the detail,
Yeah.
the enthusiasm, the passion with which he describes the food. It's like you're there. You can almost smell it.
I feel like the plate was like a Jackson Pollock painting,
Yeah.
and he just
A bit.
dissecting it like a critic.
Yeah.
And where I can't see it, I just see spots. He sees beauty.
Yeah. Do you remember
I
the
do.
old time back in the 80s? There were adult magazines where people would write letters,
Oh, yeah,
and they were in such detail that you felt like you were there.
I do.
That's when Joe describes food. I feel
Mhm.
like that's what's kind of happening.
So are you saying that
Is
Joe
that
writes
penthouse
letters?
plating on page 3?
Yeah, yes. Penthouse letters. I remember.
Well,
Penthouse
but now,
plating, it's food porn.
yeah, now it's just going to be called restaurant letters. And
right.
Joe, you need to write them all because the way you describe food, I do. I feel like I had a meal just now.
Just in that, I was like the meat wants to jump off the bone, but it's cooked so
It
well,
does.
it's too lazy,
Yeah.
so it just flops.
Yeah, I feel like I had short ribs.
Which, by the way,
really,
I was not. I was simply reading from a 1985 Penthouse letters that Rob was using in 8th grade.
I knew
The
that
line
was familiar.
jumped right off the bone.
I knew that was familiar.
I was actually quoting a Penthouse letter from 1985 that Riggle was reading in Kansas City.
So Joe, I don't know when we're going to release this, but so we try to keep it, evergreen for the
sure.
people. But there's a lot of action going on right now. College football is over, and you focus on and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you focus a lot in the fight game and in college football. That's where you spend a lot of your time. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. Do championship
And so-
boxing, wherever it takes me around the world, and then ABC and ESPN with Jesse Palmer in the booth, which is quite the departure from working with you.
Because it's professional.
Well, because he focuses and he
it's just,
listens.
He's so damn handsome and he's so damn perfect. And he's and I'm coming in from watching film and having nachos or something. And this dude was just in Costa Rica filming 17 episodes of The Bachelor. Where it's well, where were you yesterday? Oh, I was in Malta with Joey from the back. It's sickening.
Yeah.
And then the smile and the hair and
And then when I work with me though, I come in
a lot of farting jokes.
and I've got a lot of fart jokes and I've got a handful of taffy that I got down at Dog Patch in some local town close to where we're filming. And I've got somehow something in my teeth that I just can't get out for the entire show. Even though you keep telling me it's there, I'm like, no, I got it. So I can see maybe there's a little difference,
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
I understand how you feel working with him. I get it. I
You
feel like we're commiserating, and I feel like I have some support now.
I have been
How are you guys feeling about the podcast? Because it is such a good listen, such a good watch, I should say.
Thank
Are
you.
you
I
happy?
appreciate that. We're so glad you're part of it today. Thank you for taking time to
I'm
join
thrilled.
us.
I'm honored. I'm thrilled.
The letters have been coming in have been so positive for me. I can't say much about Darren, and I don't want to jump in on that.
I don't read so well. So to me, all I have is basically my parents.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh my gosh, you were amazing on that." And
that's-
who's the other guy? And I was like, "His name's Rob."
I read a lot of the letters to Darren. And
Sometimes he has to read them to me, but it seems like for the most part,
Yeah.
people are enjoying
good vibes.
People are enjoying the talkie talks.
Yeah.
They
fact-
should. What's the product placement there? What are we sipping on there?
Oh God, is that in camera? Oh gosh, it's a small coffee shop. No one's ever heard of it.
I remember my first podcast. I had products all over.
Also, this is a rare occasion, Joe. Our producer Gary is not with us today, so we made Gary faces.
Oh, very nice.
And we will include him in the show. Isn't that right, Gary? I guess so. My name's Gary.
Yep,
So
I love
there'll be a lot of that
podcasting.
going on today. Easy, Gary. Take it easy.
Sorry.
Big fan, Joe.
Hey, Gary, what's up, man?
I guess he
How
is
you doing,
on audio. I guess he's on audio.
Hmm.
Joe, college football, Michigan, #1. How do you feel about that?
I
Do you think it was the right? Do
interesting
you think it was
year,
the right verdict? The right
yeah,
verdict.
They went out and won the games.
Yeah.
I would have preferred to have seen Michigan versus Georgia in the championship game.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was in the hot water dealing with the Florida State thing. The Florida State getting snubbed.
Yeah.
So I had called the conference championship game on ABC that Florida State won. And then obviously the next day they don't get in and the whole world is caving in. And then you'll love this, Riggle. So Darren, 6 months ago, I get a phone call and I get booked to be the end of the year, the award dinners for the Tallahassee Touchdown Club at Florida State.
Oh, wow.
So it's like July. It's like, yeah, I'll be there end of the year. It'll be great. So much to celebrate. Thank you so much. And celebrate the kids and the coaches. And I do the game Saturday night. And then Sunday they get snubbed. And it becomes this national story and the pitchforks are out and everybody's hating ESPN. And everybody's hating me at Florida State because I called the game Saturday night. And now they got these conspiracy theories that I influenced the selection committee with the words I was using and the things I was bringing up. Oh. And I'm scheduled to go to Tallahassee 2 days later.
Walking into it.
Or what? No. So I went.
Good.
Half an hour before I show up, Riggle, I get a phone call. Hey, just so you know, in chat rooms, Florida State war chant chat rooms and whatnot, there are people saying, hey, we need to get him. Take his legs out. I hope somebody knocks his teeth out. I'm walking into a sports banquet. Like, what are we doing here? But it was so the flames were running hot. And then broadcast their Orange Bowl game against Georgia, where they lose 63-3, and then flew out to the Rose Bowl to do the Rose Bowl.
I was going to say, Florida State. I empathize with them when they got snubbed. I did. I felt like that's they won all their games. I thought they got snubbed. But then when they played in their bowl game, they got exposed, in my opinion. You don't lose that badly and then take any kind of claim to the national title. I mean, it seemed like, they were exposed, like case over, case closed.
They didn't have their full roster. A lot of guys departed to go to the NFL, go to the transfer portal. But it wasn't a good look, obviously, and you would prefer, and I feel badly for the head coach, Mike Norvell, because you prefer that if you're going to lodge that level of complaint and frustration, that the culture of the place would say, all right, let's rally behind this and really try to make a point. I felt Georgia may have been the best team or the second best team in all of college football, even with the loss to Alabama in the SEC championship game. I would have loved to have seen Georgia versus Michigan. Michigan's the champions. Michigan beat everybody on their schedule, and it was a heck of a story with Harbaugh, going back to his alma mater and getting it accomplished.
So I have a question. Schedules, games, 30 minutes before you're about to go speak.
Yeah.
What's your gut feeling? It's like, are you going, I'm going to get hammered out there, or are you like, F this, I'm going? Like,
no, it was F this, and it was sort of listen, I got up there and I listened, there's guys out there trying to get you, and they're putting it live on Twitter, and all the Florida State fans are chiming in. And I just wanted to celebrate the kids that were there and the kids that were winning awards and give some perspective. Listen, I sat up there. I'm like, I even said to the crowd, I said, you understand there's some child being diagnosed with cancer today, right?
Yeah,
Like real things are happening in the world.
Yeah.
The college football, but with all due respect. Like,
did that calm it down? Did you feel people go, hey, wait?
To a certain extent. But, I don't give up. Listen,
no, I hear you, and it's gotten to this weird place because I see it. I'm me, Joe. I'm a Chiefs fan, and that's an understatement, but I'm a Chiefs fan, and the Chiefs have been winning in the playoffs, and it's unbelievable what I'm seeing on the interwebs there. About conspiracy. Oh. It's all a conspiracy.
It's everything.
Everything's a conspiracy now. Everything. And it's just absurd. If people took a second and applied logic and rational thought to all of these conspiracies, do you know how many people would have to be involved?
Don't be ridiculous.
You can't keep a secret between two people, let alone 100 people.
Yeah.
Let alone, a major organization. Like, it's just not real. And I don't know why they love to spin themselves into a frenzy, but some people buy it lock, stock, and barrel, and they commit to it like it's a religious faith. It's obscene. It's obnoxious. That's why everybody's flailing.
I love Joe's perspective. It's like, people get wrapped up and you go, oh, okay, college football, rankings, games, and it's everything. And then when you step back, you go, wait a minute, man.
What have I been doing?
This is like, it's college football. It's cool.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of real serious stuff going on.
Yes.
Just
totally.
let's be lucky that we're all here,
Yeah. Oh.
I think we, this is what we've done as a society, though, right? We like to distract ourselves from reality, and we like to use sports and fandom as a surrogate for other aspects of our life that perhaps are falling short.
Completely.
And we're very tribal as a society, and we like to have these identifiers and live vicariously through others. But the stuff with the Chiefs, and Darren, I would ask you, can you believe the Taylor Swift stuff that's like boiling up here? Like I'm listening to a podcast yesterday, and there are people out there saying, well, clearly what the NFL is attempting to do here is to make sure the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl and set it up so that the game-winning touchdown happens. And as the confetti's falling, Travis gets down to one knee.
Oh, that's
the proposal. Like, this is how far it's going. Like,
that's the script.
No, literally. And then I read an article yesterday about the assignment of the referee, that the referee who is assigned to work the game in Baltimore in the AFC Championship game has the highest percentage of penalties that get called on the home team. Yeah. So it favors the road team with a 52% to 48% edge, which clearly is the next step so they can get closer to delivering on the Kelsey proposal at the end of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
No. And God forbid the Chiefs lose on Sunday. All of these theories go just poof, like Kaiser Sose, poof, gone, right? And then none of them will step up and claim it. Then they'll all be like, oh, well, whatever, no big deal.
Can we
like, no, you swore to it.
Do you think we can rewind from where we are? Like, think about that. Like, we're all, with all the conspiracies and all the things, can we back out of it? Like, is there any way out of this kookiness? Like,
yeah, you have to put a spotlight on. You know, when people are jerks and they're like passive-aggressive jerks, you have to put a spotlight on it. You can't let them get away with it. You have to put a spotlight on them and say, what did you mean by that? You have to hold them accountable, right? Then they stop being little snipers. Same thing with the conspiracy theories. Once the conspiracy busts and it's proven to be beyond, you need to go back and say, let's go back and look at the tape. This is what you said. This is what you said. And you believed it and you pushed it and you pushed it. And now it's been proven as a total farce. What do you have to say about that? Because then they're going to say, well, maybe I shouldn't have dove in with, full throttle.
It's it's like football. It's football. And now we're in relationship championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird. Yes. It's weird.
I do think, though, I will say this. I'll get your take on it. And you're way too in the weeds of it, Riggle. You're like in the eye of the hurricane with the Chief stuff and with Travis being a close
I'm in
friend.
deep. I admit.
You're so
in
deep.
Yeah.
You have no perspective. Darren, you will here. I do believe there is bubbling and growing Kansas City Chiefs fatigue, Swift, Kelsey, Mahomes fatigue, that every commercial break you watch on network TV is a Mahomes State Farm, is a Kelsey this, is a Swift that.
How great.
And you can only, even though these are wonderful, you have generation one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. You have Travis who,
unbelievable. Probably a Hall of Famer.
I've done tons of TV with Travis for years. He's as easy a guy to work with as there is, a lovely guy, as likable. And she's generationally, arguably the greatest musical performer of this generation. So they're all likable and honored, but you can only consume so much of anything.
Totally.
I don't know about that, Joe. I don't know.
You can't. You can like fire hose it all day long. But.
Okay, here's from a regular Joe.
I hate that phrase.
I'm sorry. He told me that. He's like, say regular
I never
Joe. He
said
loves
that.
it.
I never, Joe, don't believe that for a second.
Okay, from a regular guy.
Thank you.
It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm getting Mahomes, I'm getting Kelsey, and I'm getting Swifted. And it's like,
yeah,
it's a cool, fun story, but dude, too much of an awesome thing. It's a lot.
There's no such thing as too much of an awesome thing. I'll take more, please.
Okay.
More, please.
You're just eating. You're just eating the whole deal.
Num. So good. Num.
Aren't you bored of it?
No.
I feel like you're lying.
No.
I feel like you're like 6 right now.
No.
Is it good?
I love it.
Do you hate it?
And don't forget about Mahomes.
What's that?
Mahomes and Mahomes. I mean, the commercials with Mahomes and are just...
That's a great commercial. I think it's going to win a Clio.
This is how I feel about it.
That's going to win a Clio.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you though. That's a great commercial. It's better than the one with Andy Reid and the Nuggies, but I mean, they're just permeating all of sports culture.
That's another Clio contender.
We're going to turn. Everyone's going to turn on it. It's too much stuff. It's too much.
Well, let me ask this, Joe, because you have a unique perspective on certain things. One, of course, being you have seen up close, you have interviewed many times, probably one of the most interesting fighters of this generation in Tyson Fury.
Oh, he's a madman.
So I'm so curious about this gentleman because he is
a gypsy.
Yes,
he's an actual gypsy. Yeah,
he's an actual gypsy.
Yeah, and he's so unique looking. Like I look at him, I don't think, I don't know what the picture in my mind. Maybe Clubber Lang is the picture in my mind of what or Ivan Drago or like these chiseled athletes.
Right.
And he's not chiseled, but he is such a force of nature. So I'm curious, what's your you've had many interviews and many conversations with him. What's your take?
Well, I've traveled the world with him. I mean, I was just I was in Saudi Arabia with him for a week in October when he fought Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
And called the fight on the global pay-per-view and physically I've described him on air as a 6'9" bag of milk.
That's kind of accurate visually. Yeah.
You're a wordsmith, my friend. You paint such a vivid picture. I absolutely love that. Go on.
So he's an extraordinary character. I think the Netflix series really opened up casual viewers to who he is and the reality. He truly is an Irish traveler gypsy. It's not a ring moniker. He culturally is, when you say the Gypsy King, that is a moniker that goes back hundreds of years in their culture and their ethnicity of being the badass, the baddest man on earth. That when you walk into any building, any saloon back in the day in the UK or wherever the travelers were going, that any man challenges you, you beat his ass, you become the Gypsy King. But he is the Gypsy King. His father was the Gypsy King. His uncle was the Gypsy King. His grandfather, his father went away for 10 years for gouging a man's eye out in a bar fight. Wow. I mean, this is just the code of the people. This is
I
who
just
they
got
are.
the chills. I just got the chills.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're natural born fighters. And he'll often refer to it as being a fighting man. Now, I will also tell you, he's a wonderful hang.
He's a sweet guy?
All-time great dude. He is a huge personality. He's a great conversationalist. He's high energy. He can win over anybody. And I've seen him in every setting possible. I've been with him in Vegas with power brokers of media entertainment. I've been with him when he's with, His Excellency in Saudi Arabia. And he's a chameleon. Like this 6'9" badass Irish traveler. Everybody's drawn to him. So he fought really poorly against Ngannou and almost lost, which was stunning when we did that fight. And now he's going to have a unification fight in Saudi Arabia in February. But he's been fun. He's probably my favorite athlete to cover in all my years.
Yeah.
As I sit here wearing a Bruno Sammartino shirt, now I see myself in the mirror. It's like I just put on a shirt.
That's amazing. I love that you have such power and you can have that rage and that focus and violence, and then you can have a great hang on the other side.
Oh, he's a great hang. Like he's a great, going to dinner with Fury is awesome. He can talk about anything. He's really well traveled. He's really very smart. And, I'll tell you this, and Rob, I think I've shared this story with you. So when I was growing up in New York, I grew up in and around Mike Tyson and his friends as well. So I was at Mike Tyson's pro debut, and I'm a lifelong boxing guy.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Fight guy. And that's my sport. And so I was at Tyson's pro debut against Hector Mercedes. I was at Tyson's second fight, his fourth fight, his eighth fight. The local shows that I would go to, the Friday Night Smokers in Albany and Schenectady and Troy and Glens Falls and Poughkeepsie. And I felt the same way about Mike Tyson, who Tyson Fury's named after, because he was born in 1988 when Mike was the heavyweight champion of the world. His father named him after the heavyweight champion. Both guys are not guys who are well-schooled or formally educated. dropped out of school and became fighters and were just in the gym as teenagers. Those guys are incredibly smart, worldly, great conversations, great hangs, understand history, world events, the history of their sport, are analytical in their thinking. Like, those are both great hangs. Like, and they couldn't be more different, but like, I've loved my time hanging with Mike Tyson through the years, and I've loved my time hanging with Tyson Fury through the years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting. I do think it's interesting. I think people that have been through a lot in their life, they're so resilient, and they find ways to come back and rebuild themselves. And I don't know Tyson Fury's journey, but I'm sure it's fascinating. And I'm sure
Tyson Fury almost killed himself 6 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
Tyson Fury will tell you that. So Tyson Fury, when he beat Vladimir Klitschko and became the heavyweight champion of the world and had hundreds of millions of dollars and everything and 8 different Ferraris, his drug abuse and alcohol abuse and his inability, that lottery mentality they talk about sometimes, of being unable to handle it. He was raging and partying so hard that he spun himself into mental health issues and depression. And at one point was driving his Ferrari through Manchester at 140 miles an hour and was ready to go into a brick wall. And then, had an epiphany and cleaned himself up and worked his way back. He was 400 pounds. Jeez. He got up to 400 pounds, was away from boxing for 2.5 years, dropped all the weight, got himself down to, his fighting weight at 275, 280. Then Deontay Wilder was holding the WBC belt, and then had that epic fight with Deontay Wilder that brought him all the way back. He was on the brink of disaster, suicide. There were doubters that he could ever train again, and he's turned his life around with his care for his mental health. He's a mental health advocate in the UK. He's written a best-selling book about his struggles. And to your point, I would go so far, and Mike Tyson, obviously, we know his path and his journey. His second act is one of the great second acts in America. America loves a comeback act. America loves a phoenix, loves the resurrection. America loves the great second act in anybody's life. And Tyson Fury is that in the UK. He's wildly popular because of his second act in life.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, not just men, but I think maybe more men than women, I don't know, but for people that go to the edge and look over into the abyss, there's one of two things that happen. You either go over and you're lost, or you pull yourself back and you realize that's not how this is going to end, and you get tough, you get resilient, and you claw your way back. One of two things are going to happen when you get to that point. And so I always love hearing about the people who stopped, did an about face, and came back from the edge. I
agree. And Darren, I would tell you, I don't know in your life experience, but I see this a lot in sports because of, say, catastrophic injuries, and then people working their way back, or drug and alcohol abuse, or sometimes in sports you get the pain addiction abuse, prescription drugs, and people working their way back. When I reflect on guys who I really respect or admire, I don't know that I know a great man who hasn't overcome adversity. I don't know that I know a front runner, a guy who had just started and it went this way and it went this way and it just stayed that way.
Yeah, wire to wire doesn't exist.
Oh man, I love being with this guy. Or man, I get something out of this. I feel better. I feel inspired. I feel like somebody's a good hang. Yeah. Almost everybody in my life, I'm not telling you that they hit rock bottom, but they definitely took a sucker punch. Yes. They definitely got kicked in the balls, or their legs were taken out.
Oh, yeah.
And Rob, listen, I know every time, Rob, you do a long form interview where you reflect on your career, you go through the early story of Saturday Night Live a lot, and that's listen, knowing you personally, that's one thing that may have been a kick in the balls in your life. There's been other things, right? Yeah. And the same with me. I've had some career moments where okay, you're the rising star, you're the broadcast, this and that. And then you take a little sucker punch that you didn't see coming, and
I agree.
But
I don't think anybody's
a great man. I feel that way about.
I don't think anybody in this world goes wire to wire.
You can't.
Winning.
You can't.
You just don't. You're going to take your blows and you're going to get knocked down. And it's either, all about whether or not you get up.
It's either, like you said, it's either going to build your character and you're going to be better afterwards, or it's just going to run you down till you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
everybody though, isn't that what? I love biopics because of that. I love reading biographies because when there's somebody who, they're at a certain stage of their life where they have the ability to properly reflect, so they can write that book or do that movie, or they've had a life where you look back and say, yeah, there's some parallels there. I like it. That's what I really enjoy. And all the greats have had that.
Yes.
I mean, Sinatra is, a great, right? Guy was down and out, couldn't get a gig.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I got two more things I want to talk to you about, Joe, before I let you go, because I did promise you we'd keep it short so you can.
Oh wait, I'm totally good now, but whatever. But if you don't want me rambling on like an idiot, because I
keep telling him, I'm like, we keep Joe on. He's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, can I tell you my new? And you know how much coffee I drink? Because Darren, when we used to tape Holey, Moley, we would get to the set at like 4 and walk up. Am I exaggerating when I say the sun was rising?
Yeah, the sun.
Wow,
that's when they had to stop filming when the sun came up. So we would go until the sun was peaking, and they'd be like, "One more shot. We got to get this one more thing. Hurry, hurry, hurry!" And we'd be like scrambling. And then once that sun came over the hill, they had to shut it all.
Amazing.
So the amount of espresso, the amount of bad crafty coffee that I would put down with Riggle, and then this guy pounding M&Ms. I mean,
dude.
Pounding. I mean, the
M&Ms and coffee.
Anyways. Here's my new thing. This is my new thing. So it's pure espresso. The whole cup's espresso.
What?
There's no water. Okay.
Joe.
But the salt pack. Do you do the salt pack?
No, I don't do the salt pack.
Oh, bro.
What are you talking about? See how he's selling it?
I see the passion.
You see the passion?
I see the passion. The hand goes up.
It's the Italian in Joe. He's like, hey, oi, oh.
Oh, you got to do the salt.
All right, here's the deal. Do you do the hydration salt packs at all? Do you guys do like the element?
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. Hydration packs. Yes, I'm with you.
Okay,
yes.
So the salt packs you put in water, right?
Yeah.
They got the chocolate salt pack. So chocolate salt.
Stop.
Right into the game changer.
You know I'm a mocha man. I'm a mocha man.
They got mocha.
Stop.
I'm going to send you the mocha salt.
This just got really real.
You wake up, you rip open the pack, and people will say, just do a little bit. You don't do a little bit. No. You go the whole salt pack.
Yeah.
Right into the full coffee. You are so friggin' hydrated through the day. You're going to have a great schwitz the whole day. You're going to feel it. Excellent.
I can't wait.
Do you see why? Skill, you're rocking on the cognitive. You're crushing it with the salt packs.
Joe can talk me into anything.
You know what?
God, he can talk me into anything.
Joe, are you going to try to sell us a bunch of stuff? Because I want to buy it.
I'm buying.
Hold on a second. What else?
I'm buying beachfront real estate in Arizona from this guy.
I just bought a dirty shirt from Joe, and a house.
Well, Lord knows how old this shirt is. I mean, Bruno Sammartino was, I think,
I'll buy it.
That was 1963. So
you take amazing. PayPal, because I'll buy whatever you're selling. Right. Joe. I love it.
So, Joe, hanging behind you is the jersey of your son.
Yeah, John.
Is that John?
That's John's jersey from. He gave that to me. I think that was a game against Clemson when BC played Clemson. That was the jersey when Clemson was #1 in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Joe's calling college football like he does, and he's calling Boston College, where his boy plays on the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a special moment, and it got a lot of attention on the internet. Joe's calling the game. His son comes out to punt, run a fake punt, and it wasn't a busted play. It was by design.
Fake field goal. Yeah, fake field goal.
Fake field goal. Sorry.
Yeah.
And his son, delivers, scores, I believe, or right? Score
on the
or
next
through
play, he got the first down. They got the first down. The thing is I'm on ABC calling the game, and I really don't want to have to say his name. I don't know. There was just something about it where I was like, oh God, don't put me in a position where you do something. And sure as shit, it's Clemson's #1 in the country. The game's getting a lot of attention. DC happens to be up. It's right before halftime, so now you got the whole country watching. Oh my God, is Clemson going to get upset here? #1 team in the country. And John Tess comes out on 4th down and pulls off a fake field goal, which of course forces me to announce my son, which I don't know why I did this, but I just simply called him Tessitore and called the play Tessitore, blah, 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 Tessitore, and said Tess, where the color commentator, Greg McElroy, the former Alabama quarterback, had to say, yeah, you really had to prep hard for this. He's your son, So it was very sweet.
Yeah.
And what the one thing, and now John's been, out of college football for a couple of years and working as a finance bro and talks about crap I don't understand and whatever.
He passed all his tests down on Wall Street. The guy's razor sharp.
That's amazing.
Razor sharp.
He doesn't need to know that though. But the one thing at least it does for me is, when you do what I do for a living, everybody says, "What's your favorite game you've ever called?" Or "What's your favorite?" Like, it's just easy for me now. It's like, listen, my son, I ABC, it was great. It was a great moment. Yeah. And his football career wasn't like the guys we talk about, but for one moment we had a very special.
That is
special
awesome.
Thing.
It was so cool. I remember watching it. I watched the clip.
That's the jersey, right?
Yeah,
there.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the jersey. So I just got that Christmas. He was down here, so
that's so.
He's got his home jersey in New York, and I've got this jersey down here.
I love that. That's
Have you been in Florida your whole life?
No, dude, no. My family
New York.
settled in a beautiful. So when my mother came over from Italy, for some reason, my mother and her brothers and sisters gravitated to this magnificent spot called Schenectady, New York. Maybe you've heard of that.
I've heard it's
glorious.
A
wonderful place to be from, and that's why I live in Naples, Florida. So don't ask me why they left lemon trees and fig trees and palm trees of Naples, Italy, to go to 2 feet of snow.
Right.
And the 2-family home in Schenectady, New York. But it was a nice place to grow up in an Italian American neighborhood. And my aunt and uncle in the pizzeria where my cousins we used to work on Fridays and Saturdays, and my other uncle with the bakery, and my other uncle with the fish shop and the banquet hall, and and just 9 brothers and sisters, everybody in the food business.
This is where you get your love for food.
Assimilating to America. Oh, I'm a foodie to the core.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you had no choice. You were going to be a foodie.
That's right. And my daughter is in Europe as a French chef. So my wife was a restaurateur. So I just do TV and sports and a little comedy with Riggle as a side gig while I'm not eating.
Well, and Joe, the best thing about Joe has traveled the world, and he's traveled America quite extensively because he goes to these university towns. Mm-hmm. So he really knows, a lot of. He doesn't just know. Like I was just shooting a film in Alabama. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Oh my gosh!" Right. He goes, "What part?" I go, "Well, I'm in Birmingham." He goes, "Oh well, you got to try." He had like 5 recommendations of restaurants.
Wow!
And he knew exactly where to go, what to do, who to ask for. He goes, "Ask for Tommy." Ask for I'm like, "Okay, I guess."
That's very Italian. Ask for Tommy.
Exactly.
He'll take care of you.
Tell him, Joe, but it's on his sleeve, baby. It's on his sleeve.
That's awesome. That's killer.
It's amazing. So Joe's always.
Hey, did you have any good barbecue?
Not down in Alabama. I didn't have any good barbecue.
Why? On the set, they didn't bring barbecue to the set in Alabama.
Yes, you did.
Oh, my God, I did.
Joe, I understand. Look, you and I, we got to work with this guy. It's trying sometimes.
You're right, though.
It's trying.
You're right.
It's just trying.
Darren actually came down, and we did a podcast.
On X5.
On X5.
Yep.
With our good friend Charlie.
Yep.
And he lives out kind of in the sticks, and he did a nice barbecue for us.
Yeah, Chef
so
Rob.
You're absolutely, but that wasn't the set. I was thinking the set.
Gotcha.
That was a different thing. But yes, I did actually have good barbecue down there.
What did you have?
We had steaks and potatoes, and they had some short ribs.
He did steaks, but he prepared them on a smoker, I think, and each steak was individually wrapped in its own foil pouch. So you pick up the pouch. You take it to your plate, and it's like you unwrap the steak.
It was tender. It was
good. Potato salad, beans, rolls, barbecue sauce, steak.
Look at Joe's. Joe was so focused, right? He was going, "Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like it."
That was
talking.
I like the individual wrap now. The keep individual wraps. Keeping all the juice in.
It's marinating in its own sauces. It was so
You're not losing
good.
anything.
Yeah,
you can't have all the juice leave the meat and go into the fat. You can't have that.
You're right.
You got it. That's why a great sear is so critical. That's why, I'm big into the cast iron first sear on a steak, and then do whatever if you need to put it in the oven, whatever.
Locks it in.
That's how I do it. Now listen, I'm not very good in the kitchen, but on the grill, I do 1 minute, 1 minute, then I go back to my cooking. So I go 1 1. Yeah. I do 1 1 to get the sear locked in.
You got to get.
Then I do the cooking. Then I do the cooking.
Sear lock is where it's at.
Sear lock.
Yeah. You got to get the sear lock.
Yeah. Guys, for anybody watching at home, if you're not doing the sear lock, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Fucking up. You're fucking up.
No, you are.
Wrong.
You're drying the steak. Yeah. What is your temperature? If you go into a steakhouse, nice porterhouse, nice New York strip, whatever it is, and they say, "How would you like that cooked?" Darren, you say
medium rare. but I want
Thank
blood.
You. Rob,
I want
you
blood.
say.
Well, I get a lot of shame for this.
Don't say
I
it.
know. That's why I'm teeing it up.
Don't do it.
I say medium. Medium.
God. What?
Okay, listen. How do you react when you're at a table and it comes around to that one person, even if you like them or even if you don't want to offend, and they're like, may I have that? And they try to quote, may I have that towards well done?
Oh.
I go like this. This is what my face does.
You and Gary.
That's how my emotions look inside my body. It's
How dare you.
Seriously.
Even my 15-year-old son, when I order medium, which is not that bad, but it's medium.
Not.
It's not that bad. But because he gets it medium rare, he kind of just side eyes me.
I have buddies who go well done, and I'm like, why would you cook all the
doing?
love out of it? What are you eating? It's gross.
Correct. It makes, because what you're doing is you're taking every cut of meat and you're just saying it's all the same. It doesn't matter. You could get the worst piece of meat. You could go to a bad supermarket with the worst flank steak, or you could go Wagyu, beautiful bone-in filet. And if you go well done, you're just evening the playing field. Everything's going to be crap.
I agree with that. Well done is shameful. Shameful.
It is shameful. It shouldn't be allowed. If I run a restaurant, it's not allowed. You cannot order it well done.
If you were president,
would you allow medium? Would you allow medium?
Oh yeah, absolutely allow medium.
Okay.
Absolutely, 100% allow medium.
if you don't have medium, you're going to cut off a lot of business, right? Because people look, that's the median, that's the middle, that's the average. Yeah. But like I think for people who actually really love meat, I want the juices to fall down the back of my throat. I want to taste every step that thing took. You know what I mean?
Wow. I know you guys have a deal with Starbucks, but I will give you a coffee comparison, if I may.
The deal's not official yet, but go ahead.
No, but Starbucks does the same thing. Listen, they're going to hate me for this. The reason why there's a uniform flavor to every Starbucks, why no matter what Starbucks you go into in the country, is not because of the quality of Starbucks. It's because they over roast every bean. So you're getting the meat equivalent of well done, right? Boy. The quality. I'm such a food and drink snob, but that's really what you're doing. You're not getting the quality of a good coffee roast and quality bean, because think of the bean just like a steak. If a bean is well sourced, single estate, single origin sourced bean, it has great, robust flavor. And if you roast it properly to a tan roast, or a medium to sort of dark roast. But if you just well done the bean, every bean's going to be the same, just like if you well done the steak. And that's how Starbucks gets a uniform taste. Where if you go into a great coffee shop or a great espresso, you're going to have texture, richness, flavor notes, because it's going to be roasted properly.
Yeah, Darren.
You get me so fired up. You know, Riggle, you always do this to me. You get me so angry over things, and it's always these small things. But it's always food and drink, but you get me angry.
You know what? You
get me so keyed up. I'm sitting here doubting all my choices in life right now.
I'm going to say it right now. Joe, at some point, I want you to run for president because you make me feel good about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm like, if all I had to vote on was today's discussion about food,
this is it. This is my
I'd
agenda.
be like, that's my guy.
Coffee, bean, and meat.
Tessitore, 24.
Tessitore, 24. I'm down.
That's it.
I will vote for you.
Oh, my God.
I will absolutely.
I would have no shot.
No, you absolutely. All you have to do is explain the coffee bean theory. That works. That's got me.
That passion right there.
That passion. I was like, God, what am I drinking? I hate myself.
Yeah.
I've got to get flavor. I don't have any flavor notes.
Flavor notes.
You have plenty of flavor notes.
Yeah, they're not all awesome, but you have them, and that's what's cool.
Are you traveling anytime soon? Oh, you're going to the Super Bowl in Vegas. You're going to the Super Bowl in Vegas in 2 weeks.
I've already got my Super Bowl tickets, even though
I'm going to be in Vegas all week, bro. So when the Chiefs are in, you just let me know, and we'll have an adult beverage.
Oh, if you're going to be there, we got to have dinner together.
Maybe I'll put golf clubs in the car.
Yeah.
Monday.
Darren, are you at the Super Bowl?
You know what? I can be. It's just a car ride away, for real.
Car ride away.
We'll go out and we'll play some golf and we'll have some coffee.
Coffee and steaks?
Oh, my God.
Coffee and steaks, that's it.
Oh, my God. That's the name of our restaurant.
Coffee and steaks?
Coffee encrusted steak. It would just put them together.
I didn't even think about that.
Solves all problems.
Do you see why he's the idea man?
Well, he's the president.
He's the president of the United States.
He just became the president of the United States.
Joe, if they came back, which they haven't yet, and said, we want Holey Moley back, how fast would we do it? I know. I'll jump in and say I'm there yesterday. I'm ready to go.
The stupidity, the laughs we had, and listen, and I told you this recently. The fact that Netflix went out and purchased Holey Moley. Now I feel like for the past 4 weeks, every airport, every restaurant, I am getting it's getting like that algorithm push for it's
Good.
wonderful. And it's wonderful that it makes people laugh. And I love the reaction from kids, but the stupidity, Darren, the lack of oxygen to the brain after 3 a.m. when we still have 2.5 hours to just film people making fools of themselves on a oversized miniature golf course.
And everybody's freezing. Everybody's tired. Everybody's slapping.
That's when the best stuff happens.
Actually, it's when that's when we get the most tickled.
Well, watching you two on that, it's a fantastic duo. It really is.
You're very sweet.
And I told you remind me of Fred Willard in
I'll take that all day.
The Best in Show.
Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Just no clue about anything, and then you got Joe who's just like,
Best in Show.
it's so good. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Riggle is so great in that role, and here's the thing about it, sometimes there's an evolutionary arc to when you're doing something like that and a growth. It was like minute one. I think the first commercial break of day one of season one, we looked at each other like, oh, this is stupid good.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's so clear that you guys, got it from the beginning because it's so natural.
Well, it's so rare to find that too in show business when it dovetails like perfectly.
Yeah, I know.
Because we did the give me some. So
It's tough.
when Joe and I did after that first taping, that next morning whenever we wrapped on that first day, I remember the executives from ABC coming out of the trailer. Where their headquarters or whatever, they came out of that trailer and they were kind of looking at us with these big eyes like, that was great. That went really well. That was, we're
awesome.
like, yeah, why are you so shocked? Like, we had fun, let us have fun and you're going to see fun stuff.
You got two guys who enjoyed being together, going. And,
very much, yeah.
And it's
very, very much.
very natural where the dialogue fell. It was like boom.
That's
boom,
the
boom.
one thing I don't know. I'm sure you get it too, Joe. But the one thing that people approach me about, and the one thing I see in the comments a lot is when's Holey Moley come back? When win? And I'm always like, it's not up to us. It's believe me, we would do it in a second, but it hasn't.
How many episodes did we do? We did 4 years to this point, right? So it was like 48 or we had all those weird specials too. I don't know, but we probably
somewhere in the 50,
60ish, maybe 50 to 60ish episode.
Yeah.
So who's a better golfer?
We need
between
to
you
get to
two?
100.
Probably Joe.
You better golfer than Riggle?
Oh God, no. I used to golf a lot, but my travel. You know what I am as the golf guy, and I wish I wasn't. And Rob is definitely not this. And Rob, adores the game. The guy who's like, oh, it's just so nice to be out. So beautiful day. It's just like, but it's like, dude, I am not that guy at all because I'm so like intense and passionate. Like if I suck at something or if I'm mediocre or something, like this is not fun at all. Like this sucks. Like get me out of here.
You're competitive.
I live on a golf course. Like I'm literally live on a golf course here in Naples, Florida. I love looking at it. It's pristine. It's beautiful. I love the golf culture. But if I get out there and hit one bad shot, I'm like, F this. Like, this blows. I want to be the guy that can just go out and enjoy it. I can just enjoy it. I will have a Negroni with you when it's done. I'll laugh all night. Yeah. But if those 4.5 hours I'm being made a fool of, I'm not having fun.
Amazing.
Well, at least he's honest about it. And at least he knows himself.
I appreciate that.
Because he's willing to hang out at the 19th hole.
I love the sport as well.
The sport and respect the sport.
I'm a self-professed golf junkie. I love the game. I went out yesterday.
Of course you did.
That's awesome. I fired a 37-39.
Wow.
That's great, dude.
I was striping it yesterday, and I don't know what it was. It was a really nice day, just dropping dimes. It was great.
It was like where it was your mind was free, and you were just like easy and just.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the swing because I had a couple really nice shots, and every nice shot makes you think less on the next one. I just go, oh, I've just got to do. Whatever I did, instead of going, if you hit a bad shot on the next one, you go, what did I do bad that I want to try to correct? And you start getting those thoughts.
Do you turn off your phone?
No, I can't. I can't.
Now, I learned a lesson. When I used to play golf a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean a lot? You still play golf?
I still play golf as much as I can, but I don't play as much as I used to, just because of schedule. My schedule is crazy.
Right.
But I learned that one phone call can throw my whole game off.
One text,
whole day.
one sentence.
One text. There were people in my life that used to call or text something that would throw my game into the gutter.
Totally.
So I got to a point where I was like, I have to block these 4 hours off and not look at my phone.
Yeah.
Because I can't risk it.
I get that.
I can't risk. Even at the turn, I used to take a quick glance. And if I saw a certain name or whatever, I'd be like, the phone would start to pop off. I just can't do it. So it's kind of nice, though, because it is phone-free 4 hours.
It is. And that actually makes me wonder, Joe, when you're calling a game or you're calling a fight, is your phone on in your pocket?
Oh, no, I'm on the phone the whole time. Like, I literally will broadcast a 4-hour football game on ABC while returning texts, commercial breaks, everything, whatever. Because what I have found with me, and this is like a mentality and personality thing, I am an engaged communicator. Like, Riggle, you know how quickly I return texts or how responsive I am. It's just who I am.
Right.
So for me, when I broadcast, I've just reached a stage where I'm just going to be authentically me, right? I'm not going to try to be anything other. That's who I am. Like, so if I look down at a text in the middle, like, hey, especially TV friends who are watching a broadcast live and reacting to it, I like that instant feedback, or I like this, or hey, and I'll respond. And, my family too, I like to make sure everybody's okay with what's going on. How's everybody doing? I look at my phone during commercial breaks. I absolutely do.
Wow.
Jesse Palmer and I immediately to the phone. Just immediately. And I know it pisses the producer off too. Like during talk back, and like, all right, when we come back from break, we're going to come back with Billboard Reed, and then we're going to do the graphic after kick toss the studio, and then after the first play down to the sideline, blah, blah, and they speak for a minute straight to give me traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like 10 seconds before we come back from break, it's like, hey, can you give me that traffic one more time?
Hey, how do you think you'd feel if there was a mandatory 1 week with no phones for the world? How do you think you'd come out of that?
Ultimately, okay.
No one has a phone.
I know. But
Nobody.
Ultimately, okay.
Would it make you uncomfortable?
It would make me uncomfortable. I'd stress because I've gotten to a level now where communication is so easy and so it's so nice to check in with kids and loved ones and just do a check-in, a touch base, even if it's just a text saying, "Hey, honey, hope school's going well today."
But
Boom.
but
And
no one has the phone like we used to not. Like, so we for a long time we didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
So the majority of our lives, I mean, at the end of the day, like basically that was up until 1995, right?
6.
Yeah, early 90s, I think. Really, was when they started exploding. But like, if there was 1 week where no one had it, so there wasn't communication that you were missing out on, but we were all just like no phones. I think, I don't know, man. I think
it's a good social experiment, Darren, if you actually think about it, because it would be the great global reset. It may snap people into a different mindset of priorities, communication, what they value,
relationships.
How they choose to go. Yes, because I do think there is a generation. By the way, I hate lack of attention. That is one of my pet peeves. If I'm speaking to you or we're watching a TV show, like if we're watching a movie or a TV show or streaming something, anything, and I'm in a room with my family, I press pause. And then all of a sudden there's that delay and they're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, you good? We good? We'll watch this, right? I'm that guy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm so that way. I can't even tell you. Because I'm like, are we doing this or are we doing this? What are we doing?
I'm that guy.
Yeah. I'm so with you on that.
I think it would cause a lot of cool things. I think by the end of that week, relationships that may have been like, you didn't want to deal with, you'd have to deal with the people who are in your house or your close friends. And I don't know. I think
at first it would be it's like any type you decompress.
It'd be awkward.
In the beginning, you'd be all fussy and awkward and agitated and then I think each day that went by, you'd settle into it and maybe start to love it.
You'd realize you're not going to die if you don't have a phone.
Yeah.
Like, wait. Yeah.
Well, I guess there was some elements of when we were in the deepest parts of COVID with that, where there was some, you could line up some of that change where people got off the, the hustle and bustle mode. And you still had your phone, but it was such a drastic change for people that perhaps you prioritize things differently, or how you view the world. There was some of that. Or you grow your beard out like I did out to here and look like Saul from Homeland.
When you're president, can you just kind of do a no phone week?
Yeah, do that
once
Joe.
a year.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do
Thank
that
you.
too. Yeah.
That run on that platform. That and the coffee steak idea.
I feel like we just made $1 million.
Big tech lobbyists will really be supporting me.
Yeah, that Silicon Valley money is not going to be. It's going to go the other way.
Oh
Sorry.
my God! You know what I missed of not filming Holey Moley this year with you is how easily you would always get me to break. Of how because I can go through my week without getting anybody to really make me laugh and make me be in control. I lose control of everything where I can't even function. You, out of anybody I've ever known, so ridiculously easy to get me to break where I cannot function, and you knew it. And you had every trigger. You had the easy trigger to the nuclear option trigger with me. Like if you wanted to shut down the production for an hour, you knew you could.
That's funny.
He's a good man.
Well,
He's such a good man.
You have maybe like in my life so far, there's been like 3 or 4 people in my entire life that can make me lose it laughing. Like, there's a lot of joy and a lot of laughter, but there are those people like Riggle is for you that just know where to go, where you lose your mind.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That was it. Although I will tell you, Darren, the worst I ever broke, Riggle was with me, but it was because Riggle, we were filming an episode of Celebrity 100,000 Pyramid. So it was Riggle. We were the early part of the show where you're with the one-on-one.
Yeah, Strahan's the host.
Right.
Riggle, and Riggle's behind me with his partner, and Strahan's out of the corner of my eye over here.
Yeah.
And I'm with this woman, and she gives an answer that literally we had to shut down production for 20 minutes because
What was it?
Yeah.
She said "dick in the box," right?
Yeah.
It was
It was that old SNL.
Yeah. Greatest song ever on SNL.
It was, but that was.
We had a lot of
answer.
fun. We had a lot of fun doing that.
I'm giving the clues.
Yeah.
That was her answer?
And for some reason, that was her. It was not germane to anything to do with.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It was almost like a Tourette's.
Yeah,
It was
It was like Tourette's.
just totally not related.
Yeah. Just
totally not.
dick in a
Out
box.
of the corner of my eye, I
was
see Strahan doubled over, and I can hear him. I turn. The clock is still counting down.
Yeah.
She's still competing.
The game's still on.
Look back at him as if to say, like in Italian, we would say, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
WTF? Done. Over." He's on the ground. Strahan's doubled over. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was a Tourette's moment.
I love that.
Yeah. Just dick in the box as loud as you could.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah. But that whole episode, like we did two episodes, I think, we filmed, and we had so much. We got the giggles on that, and then we were having fun, and then it just got loose. Like, normally on those things, you got a live audience, you got Strahan, there's a format, and you kind of, you're playing a game. I'm trying to do the best for my people, and Joe's trying to do, but then we just kind of got loose, and like, she was like, a boring person, a nerd, or whatever. I go, Joe Tess, like we're throwing, like it turned into just a wild,
just mayhem.
It just turned into mayhem. Yeah, and then they were like, "Okay, guys, let's," like they were like, we're trying to compete for these people,
right? Let's try to do an action job.
We took a break. Strahan, you and I went behind the set, crying.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's so glorious. So good.
But anyways, nobody makes me break like Riggle makes me break.
That's so great.
Thanks, Joe. You're the best.
Oh, thank you, Rob.
And thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, and you spent way more time than I thought you would be able to. So thank you for that.
I'm a ratings killer, Rob.
Joe Tessitore 24. I'm telling you guys, we're getting
Joe,
shirts.
it's so nice to see
Darren.
you.
All right, salt in your espresso, my friend. We'll see
I
you.
love it.
Thanks, Joe. You're the best, brother.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you.
We'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon.
Bye.
Love him.
What a fucking guy.
Yeah, I absolutely love him.
I seriously, I
And
would
what I'm
vote for
telling
that dude for president.
What I'm telling you, I love him. I mean it. You saw it firsthand. So when I try to explain to people, like, Joe convinces me of so many things, And I'm like, yeah, God, he's totally right. I got to get more of this salt in my coffee.
Dude,
I got to get more.
it.
Like I'm not going to eat any more medium steaks. Like all of a sudden, you just like, because he'll sell you.
I felt it.
Yeah.
And it was not. It wasn't snake oily. It was so passionate, sincere. I was like, yeah, Joe. That guy is a quality dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like quality. How did you get the gig with him?
You know what? I think he got suckered. I think they were like, Joe, we need a real sports announcer to do this show. There's going to be, this miniature golf, and we want you to call or whatever. And we're going to give you a co-host, but don't even think about that. Don't worry about that. Just we need you to be the
He's
pro.
like, okay, I'll do it.
And he kept asking,
right.
So who's this co-host you guys are? And they're like, you know what? We're still working it out. Don't worry about it. I think they waited until literally the day of the show, and they go, so it'll be Rob Riggle. Anyway, let's go over here and do this thing. He's like, wait. What did you say? And they said,
just glad to have you, Joe.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Rob Riggle.
Yeah.
You keep.
Who? You're mumbling.
Yeah. And so when I showed up, I came out of my trailer going, hey, Joe Tessitore, and I gave him a hot slap on the ass, and I was like, yeah.
Did he?
I think that's when he figured out, like, oh God.
He seems like the kind of guy who if you slapped his ass, he'd just be like, well, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he takes everything in stride.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best.
That's
why they got him. I think they went out and they needed a true professional.
That guy. I mean, when he's describing food, I was like. It was like play by play.
Yeah.
And he's naturally born for that.
It's so rare that you see a person match up with their calling and take their gifts and their calling and then have the talent.
Yeah.
And it all comes together in one supernova.
And the opportunity to share it with the world.
Yeah.
Because there's probably people in their basement in, downtown Michigan who are super talented, but they're just by themselves. Yep. Like just fiddling with origami.
That happens in basements a lot
in Michigan.
Yeah,
that's the origami capital of the states. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
I would not assume that either.
Yeah, it's the biggest origami producing state.
You actually have stats on that?
There's data.
There's no data on that. You're lying. All right. Well, listen. Hey, this has been Riggle's Picks.
This is Riggle's
Picks.
This
is Riggle's Picks.
Wait. It is.
I'm Rob Riggle. That's Darren Leader.
What's happening?
And this is Gary Smith. I'm Gary.
I'm Gary.
I'm Gary.
No, I'm Gary.
I'm Gary.
I'm Gary.
No, I'm Gary.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. We got the real.
Where'd that?
I'm here somewhere.
Oh, God.
Is this like Phantom Gary? Because I've got care for nothing Gary.
I've got oh my God.
You got oh my God Gary.
I got oh my God Gary.
Where's Phantom Gary?
I'm somewhere.
Oh God. I thought we locked the doors, didn't we?
Yeah, I think he got in digitally like Neo in the Matrix.
He's in the vents.
God.
All right, we'll figure this out.
Well, thanks for having me be on Riggle's Picks and talk with Joe Tessitore, because that was special.
That was fun. That was really fun. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Riggle's Picks. We will be back.
We're always going to be back.
We're always going to be back with more wonderful guests, and we hope you all have a great day. On Riggle's